Damola, thank you so much for giving me the floor. Good morning, everyone. My name is Mercy Kingsley. I'm the college admin, and I'm so excited to join you people today on the call. Thank you so much for sticking by so far. We are almost rounding up, and today happens to be the last class for this program. So I just want to appreciate every one of you for your consistency and your engagement. So we started with an introduction in February, and then we've done some courses. We've done cloud computing and managing the cloud infrastructure 1 and 2. We've done data analytics and modeling 1 and 2. We've done information system project management 1 and 2. We've done emerging technologies and frontiers of information systems 1 and 2. We've done global information systems 1 and 2. And then we've done, today we'll be rounding up ethics, sustainability, and social issues in information systems. Please, a round of applause to every one of you for standing by up until today. I want to believe that it's not a waste of time for you. So that being said, I want to congratulate you for the journey so far. So I just want to talk about your registration fee. I believe the anchor of this class has been talking about it for a while now. So I'm just trying to tell us that if you are here to pay your registration fee, please go ahead to do so, and then send us your screenshot via the mail provided. And so this is to let you know that only those who have paid the registration fee will graduate. I also want to believe that you've all heard that if you have not done your first semester, you are to do it, and that's what will qualify you um, to graduate. For those who have done it before, the information is not for you. But if you know that you've done first semester and you are yet to pay up your registration fee, please do well to do so, so we can capture your records accordingly. I believe this is understood. And then if you are yet to do any of your tests, the floor is still open. If you are doing it late, we will need your screenshots. If you are doing the test late, we will need your screenshot in order to capture your records. Thank you so much. And just like the anchor mentioned, we'll be starting exams soon. So that will be in the coming week. She should be anticipating your timetable, and we would want you to take your exams as well. This will qualify you for graduation. Thank you so much, everyone, for the time. I will hand it over right now to Damola. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of the class.
All right. Thank you very much, Mercy. We really appreciate that information. Does anyone have any question about that? Anyone? All right. In absence of questions, I would proceed with the author of today. So today on Diploma in Information Systems, we're talking about ethics, sustainability, and social issues in information. Our amiable, intellectually capable, I would call him a senator because I just like the way he moves. Let me just say, politically, I like the way he moves, and he's also an AI enthusiast. Our trainer for today is Tonye Al Onyabo. He's an AI strategist, researcher, and technological advocate for focused on intersection of artificial intelligence, governance, and societal transformation in Africa. He is the convener of Transcend Nigeria, an initiative that decided to prepare Nigerians for age of artificial intelligence through education, policy awareness, and technological literacy. With professional experience spanning microfinance, commercial banks, and merchant bank, Tony brings a practical understanding of business system, operational strategies, and institutional dynamics. He works combines academic research with real world implementations, particularly in the areas of AI adoption. His workforce transforms ethics and digital development. He has authored publication exploring themes such as AI-driven healthcare innovations in Africa, work focus displacement and mitigation strategies in Nigeria, ethical AI, and localization of emerging technologies to solve African challenges. Beyond research and advocacy, Toye serves as a Chief Operating Officer at the head of corporate communications at Ventral AI, a UK-based startup focused on AI solution for transport sector. He's also worked as a go-to marketer advisor for Centric AI, supporting the company's strategic entry into Nigeria market. Additionally, he's the CEO of Optimal Quest Ventures. So without further ado, I would like to introduce our trainer for today, Mr. Tony A.L. Onyebo. Can you hear me, sir?
Oh, yes, I can hear
Mr.
you.
Tony,
Yes,
can you hear me, sir?
yes, I can hear you.
All right. It's lovely to have you today. You can proceed from here, and I can't wait to hear the juicy information that's going to be spilled today.
Okay, thank you very much. Are we
Sorry,
ready?
sir, your background is
So,
giving us an echo. I don't know. I think probably, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yes, your background is giving back echo.
So, what can I do?
I don't know. Do you have, or can you change your probably your sitting position? Or if you have another phone that is on Zoom call, probably you should turn that off.
Okay, I've taken my phone away from me. Ah,
All right, you should be able to share your screen and proceed with the class.
hello.
I can hear you, sir.
Okay, can you all see my screen?
Yes, I can see your screen, and the echo is still present. I don't know if I'm the only one that is hearing the echo. If someone else is not hearing it, let me know so I would know if it's my internet or it's from
Is
our
that
trainer.
actually echoing?
Is that going on? It's a general problem.
Okay, let me disconnect and connect. Hello. 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 Can you hear me? Hello.
I can hear you.
Is it echoing?
It's okay now.
Okay.
Hello, Mr. Tony. Are you still saying something? We can't hear you. Okay, so we apologize for that. Please just be patient while we
I
try to
can
get
hear
him back
you.
on the call.
I
Okay,
am back here. Can you hear me now,
okay,
David?
yes.
Okay. Let me share my screen. Can you all see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay. Um, Thank you. So can you all see my screen? Hello, everybody.
We can see your screen.
Can you hear me, first of all? Hello, can you hear me?
Mr. Tony, we can hear you and we can see your screen.
Okay, let's go. I am happy to be here today. I first begin by showing appreciation to the leadership of Transformation College. This is a good job that you guys are doing here. Please keep up the good work. And I greet every other person here. I greet my students that are here to this class. This class is quite dynamic, and I want you to have an open mind while we go on this three-part journey into this session. The course is very exciting, and I hope that by the end of the course, you would be a better person. You understand the systems around you more and understand how society and the information systems, how they interact. So let's go in. So my name is Toye. As you heard them say, my name is Toye. So let's go in. So here's the course outline. We'll be talking about the ethical landscapes of information systems. Then from there, we'll move on to ethics, sustainability, and the use of information systems. You see, at this point in time, we're beginning to talk about the new world, the digital world. So let's look at this information system. Let's look at our society and most of these conversations that we've not had before. Let's look at them through the use of information systems. We'll talk about intellectual property. What does it mean? We'll talk about ethics of AI development and machine learning. This is another unique uh, area. Then we'll talk about ethics in health informatics, and then we have your assessment questions. So without further ado, let's dive in. So what do we mean by ethics in the first place? What is ethics? We hear them throw the word around. Ethics this, ethics that. What exactly is ethics? So we now take those ethics and say, okay, what does it even mean in the current age? So you as a person, what do you mean by ethical dilemmas? Have you ever been in a situation where you are torn between doing the right thing, but you might get punished for it, but doing the wrong thing and nothing happens, but you know you must do the right thing? So that's why even if you as a person has that challenge in your life from time to time as you live your life, why do you now think that information systems that all of us create and generate would also have that problem? Because information technology systems truly offer immense potential to transform society. But at the same time, we need to think things through before implementing these technologies, because these technologies have immense potential for rapid system change. And these changes are changes that are dynamic. So concerns of these concerns can be traced down to privacy and accountability, transparency, sustainability, equity, and human dignity. So we'll begin to talk about these issues as we proceed in this course. So why do ethics matter in information systems? Ethics are the values and principles that guide our decisions and actions. In information system, they determine how we plan, use, and manage technology responsibly. You must understand that technology is a dual-blade sword. Is a sword on both sides that is sharp on both sides. Yes, it can get things done. It can make our lives better. But at the same time, if you don't manage it very well, it can cause damage. So it's important that some things are taken as core in the use of these information systems. And these things can, such as data privacy, which means that you should be shielded from everybody knowing who you are. There should be some privacy, just like the way in real life, not everybody knows your house. It's the same way on the internet. Not everybody needs to know that I'm this person. So that's what we call data privacy. The world does not need to know who I am. Just let me partake of the internet. Social equity, all of us must be equal. Almost all of us must have the same rights on the platforms. There should be nothing like some people are this, some people are that. No, the same laws that apply to the person, the way a person in US should apply to the person in Afghanistan on social media platforms, information system platforms. You should not, you should not um, hate people based on their IP addresses or where they are from in real life. Then environmental impact. What is the impact of this the power that the information system consume? What's the impact of it on the economy on the economy and also on the planet? It's not enough to have faster systems that work quicker and then the whole earth is just getting going up in flames. What are we doing to ensure that we are still making sure the earth is livable for every other person? And then human dignity, and it ensures that we also ensure that the information system respects autonomy, fairness, and the well-being of each person. This is the most important thing. We need to drum in this human dignity into information systems as they are being built. You need to ensure that information systems, regardless of where they are from, who made them, who coded them into existence, they must respect human dignity. This is very important. So by the end of this chapter, students will be able to understand, you should understand that ethical perspective and how they apply to information systems, define sustainability of information systems, identify and describe, yes, and explain data ownership, and then evaluate societal impacts of emerging information systems technology. So let's go. Can you hear me and can you all see my screen?
Yes, we
Hello.
can.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so first part of this class today would be ethics, sustainability, and use of information systems. We'll talk about some theories, we'll talk about a couple of things, and then we'll come to some conclusions, some amazing conclusions. Okay, normative ethical perspectives. You know that in this life, not all of us see things the same way. So that's what we call it perspective. So just the way all of us don't see things the same way, is the way in ethics too. There are different perspectives on what justifies what is right or wrong. That is it. Just see it in your mind that ethics basically means the process of justifying as a people and as a society what is right and what is wrong. So to find that balance, we have three perspectives through which we come to that conclusion. So the first perspective is called unilateralism. Unilateralism. The second one is called deontology, and then we are going through virtue ethics. So now we see that we have three views through which ethics is viewed. First of all, unilateralism focuses on consequences. That is very basic. Actions have consequences. If you do something, for every action, there's a equal reaction, straight up. So this views ethics as everything you do has a reaction. So it's not up to you to decide what you want to do. So if you do something bad, you should expect something bad. But do something good, you should expect something good. So what do you want to do? So it's now right, it's now much more impactful when a greater number of people have that mindset because it now forces people to think about what is good for the greater good. So you understand. I hope people are getting the different perspectives. So that is that one. The ontology focuses on the action itself. What did you do? What exactly did you do? You know, the first one says consequences. If you do A, expect B. This one is not saying, yes, I know if you do A, expect B. But what exactly did you do for him to expect B? You understand that now? This perspective of ethics views is that not just action reaction. What exactly is the action? Then the last one we have what we call virtue ethics. This one now says, no, let's not even talk about action reaction. Let's not even talk about if you do A, do B. What exactly did you do? Let's even leave that side and ask ourselves, who exactly is the person doing the thing? Leave action reaction. Leave the action itself. What did you do? Who exactly is this person that's even doing all these things? So that's where we're going to talk about character. Who is the person? What does this person, how does this person think? Is he thinking with courage, wisdom, moderation, justice, or just plain greed, avarice, corruption, anger, bitterness? So these are the three ways through which ethics is viewed. Does anybody have any question? Hello? Hello, can you hear me?
We can still hear you loud and clear. I don't think
Okay,
that question here. Maybe you should
okay.
proceed.
I just want to know if anybody can hear me. That
Yeah,
my
we can
network
still hear
is
you. Still
working.
very audible.
Okay,
We can
thank
hear
you.
you, sir.
Okay, so neutralism in information systems. So now I remember what we were talking about before, that we are working through ethics in information systems. Now, I've explained to you what ethics is, the process of getting what is good and what is bad in society. I've explained to you the three ways by which we see ethics: neutralism, deontology, and virtue. I've explained to you that under neutralism, it is just consequences. Actions have consequences. Now, I want you to understand this and now begin to see through information system lens. Now, you begin to understand why our current society is the way it is. Because some people have applied their own perspective of ethics to be the consequences on of every action as a reaction. So we will now see those impacts, how it is being done, how consequences ethics is being linked to information system. Now, create the greatest good for the greatest number of people. That is the consequences ethical framework. And it is nice. If you're going to be honest, if you look at it on the surface value, it is nice. A system whereby everybody does what is good for the greater good would be the better off. Because if I know that instead of me to go and um, break the pole in front of my house and make the break the NEPA pole, and because of that, wire cut and there's no light, it does not pay me to do that because I will also not have light just like every other person. And because it does not serve the greater good, I could get in trouble for it. So that system where actions have consequences, where you have to do what is best for the greater good, it actually does make sense in some places. In business, you see it a lot. In capitalism, you see it so much in business, in price wars, for example. Let me give you a good example of this use of actual consequences in capitalism, in business. When Dangote refinery came on board, we were importing petroleum at around 1513 or so for diesel rather. Immediately Dangote came on board, it turned it to 1000. You see, all those movements of prices between Dangote and the competition, where they are always changing prices, reducing prices, changing prices, reducing prices, was basically an action reaction mechanism because the businesses knew that the more they reduce price, the more they will get market share. And because of that, the importers were forced to also reduce price to capture market share. So you begin to see the pattern, action reaction. Yes, it's good. It's good for business. It makes people more productive. But at the same time, if you view life only through that, you might realize that you'll be doing a lot of things that favor only the majority. And most times, what the majority wants is not necessarily right. Imagine if Uber says that, imagine when Uber launched, Uber said, we do not feel that Lagos has what it takes for Uber because Lagos is a poor city and they're doing so much traffic lights. Do you know how revolting that sounds? That you cannot open your service in another person's country because if you do not have what it takes. And if you look at it some ways, they might say, yes, that's true, because as of that point in time, we didn't have so much roads, we didn't have so much good cars. But if they look at it only through action reaction, they will say no, they don't want to go there. But by saying that, by understanding that you cannot see life only through what majority want at every point in time, because most times majority can be wrong. If 100 students are together in place, that's why we are saying this. If you look at the pitfall, if 100 students decide that out of all of us here, we'll pick one person that will carry all of us load notebooks. Yes, that is an action that favors the greater good. But at the same time, it's not a nice action because you are impoverishing one person to serve for the greater good. And that is not a good thing because that one person too is also important. So that is again a warning to teach you that as you are working with these information systems, you cannot just use simple ways of picking information to be, if they do this, I'll do that. In some circumstances, it might provide systems that work, but it's leading to somebody's impoverishment. Or somebody's right is being infringed upon, and that is not a good thing because everybody matters. So, the ontology. Let's go through the views of what the ontology. Do what? Only what? What is the action? I hope you have not forgotten that we said there are three views of viewing ethics. There's consequences. Do A, do B. We've spoken about it. We've spoken about its application. Then we've spoken about what again? We've spoken about its pitfalls. So now we are going to the ontology, duty-based, which is what? What did he do? It's not to say if you do A, do B. The thing that was done, what is it? So now, what's the thing that was done? The golden rule. Treat others the same way you wish to be treated. Actions are evaluated by their inherent rightness, not their words, their outcomes. So that means if you look at what the person had in mind before he did it, what did he have in mind before he did the action? So that's how we begin to view some systems that, okay, what did this person have in mind before before he carried out this action? Let's not even look at what he did. What did he have in mind before he made this action? You see that's another perspective again to view information systems and to have them to look at people's intent by their inherent rightness. Like, why did he do it? He did it because of this. Oh, okay. Let me give an example. Would be when an HR person receives a request about a former employee. Let's say the employee was sacked, but he resigned before he was sacked. Now it's not up to now if the employee now gets a new job in a new place. Are you telling me now that if they call the former employee, what should he tell the new employee, the new employer about the employee? Should they tell him that he was sacked? Or should they just tell them that he just resigned? So these are the kind of questions we begin to ask ourselves. So now the question should be, what are you going to do? What we say, what the ontologists believe is that you must act for the betterment of all humans. Act in such a way that your company, your duty are done, and the former employees' chances of getting a job are not damaged. So act for both sides, the betterment of everybody involved. Act for it. But at the same time, information systems have duties to do. They must protect user privacy because regardless of what you have in mind, my privacy must also be protected. Because I can decide to say, okay, even though I decide what I understand the intent behind your actions, but I can also decide not to be involved in the action. So that's what we talk about user privacy. Disclose limitations truthfully and build systems that respect human dignity, regardless of business pressures. This is where we talk about the fact that businesses must not be pressured into just going after profit. We must also talk about human dignity. Systems will not just be created for only profit. We must talk about human dignity too. Now, we're going to talk about virtue ethics and the synthesis of all theories. Remember that we said earlier that we had three ways of seeing the world. The first one is consequences ethics. The second one is duty based. What exactly did he do? Action based. What was the action done? And the third one is the one we now call virtue ethics. Who is the person itself that even did this thing? It's not just enough to talk about what was done, what was done in return. The person himself that even did this thing. Who is this person himself? What has this person done? So we'll talk now. This goes back to Plato, Aristotle, and Socrates. We'll talk about what kind of person should I be instead of what should I do. Don't focus more on the person. You yourself. What kind of person should you be? What should be your value systems? What should be what drives you as a person? It's not just what should. Yes, we know you should do something, but what should drive these actions? Tell us what should drive them. So now, for example, it's not enough that an MD says that we can pay ourselves end of year bonuses while they are sacking staff. If the MD does that, it can be justified, but is that the right thing to do? Is that what he wants? Is that what the kind of virtues he wants to have driving him? Just pure greed. So these are the kind of things that we'll talk about again. That when you are making decisions, even though you're going to make decisions that benefit the greater good, that they can have the right belief system, we must also ask ourselves, is this the kind of values we want to see to guide us? It's just a very simple question. So once we begin to see information systems in civilization, use that way, begin to understand that we must now begin to ask even deeper questions before making decisions on these information systems. So you see now that we have seen these information systems through the three perspectives that we have. Okay, so systems thinking in what? Ethical decision making. Systems thinking emphasizes the interconnectedness of all components within the whole. Everything is connected. Just like let's look at Earth right now. Systems. This is a systemic view of the Earth. We have planet Earth where everybody is, every system operates. We have society. This is based on most times nation states or countries. Then we have communities. Other communities we have states and things like that. States, tribes, subsects. We have things like that. Then organization, where do you work? What deity do you worship? What kind of club do you support? So those are systems by which human beings are classed, not necessarily hierarchically, but thus systemically. Then you yourself, who are you? So you see that this is a systemic view of the earth. So if you apply this view of systems thinking to ethics, you realize that you have to think things through at every level before making decisions. Because you realize that what you have to make decisions that aligns with what planet Earth wants as whole, what society and nation state wants in their different geographies, what communities and tribe wants, their various local areas, and what jobs, uh, interest groups, and policymakers also want. Then what about you yourself as a person? What do you want? So before we make any decisions that have to do with information systems, we have to see the decision through these lenses. Because if not, we will discover that we'll make decisions that might look good at first, but they will have drastic consequences that will take years to resolve. So whatever information tax you perform, its impact ripples through all the levels. That's why you must always think things through. Okay, so we're going to look at the DIKW pyramid, data to wisdom. The pyramid links data management with ethical responsibilities. Ethical challenges intensify as we move from raw data towards wisdom. You remember that what makes modern information systems, the AIs, very powerful is their pattern recognition, the ability to see patterns faster in unrelated domains. And this is gotten from data. So they go through vast amounts of data. And while they go through that data, they get insights. And from the insights that they get, they derive actions, which comes from wisdom and knowledge. So let's say, for example, let's use an example right now so that we can get this pyramid very well. When you take an AI system and train it on so many pictures of cats, it can recognize cats in all conditions. Now, what that means is that you can use that tool not just for cats, but for every other thing across every other domain that you want to search for. Because once you train a system to do one thing and it does it well, you can use other things to train it and do it better. So we begin to realize that we can derive knowledge and wisdom from going through data. So that's why at that point in time, we must begin to ask ourselves, who will be impacted more from these actions? So the green, lean, and sustainable information system. Now, it's also important that what you are doing, the information systems you are building, the infrastructure you are building to match the information systems, you have to ensure that they first of all are suitable for the earth where all of us live in. First of all, it's not enough to say that, oh, I'm building systems that will benefit the whole world, but don't worry, anything I do, all of us will be fine. No, you're not going to take that from anybody. This time around, you're going to ensure that you use these systems in such a way that does not burn up the earth. A good example will be when we discovered oil. We forgot completely that we have a planet to protect. We just went on drilling, and now we have so much oil spillage, and you're just heating up the atmosphere. Regardless of whatever the oil industry claims, the evidence is there that the earth is warming up. And the reason why the earth is warming up is just because of the amount of CO2 emissions that we are pushing up through carbon every day. But does that mean that we'll still stop using the oil? No, because the whole current system is built solely on oil. So what are we going to do? We cannot now say because of that we want to build new data centers. We'll now start building data centers that are powered with diesel generator. That's not sustainable to the earth. We're now adding more are we now adding more doom to the planet, all in the name of saying we want to build a new system? That should not be allowed. So we also have to ensure that it is lean. There's no waste. It is resourceful. It does not create more waste on society. It does not use much more than it needs. It cannot say it needs X amount of energy and it only uses Y. If it needs Y, it should get Y. There should be no waste. Everything should serve a purpose. And then it should be what? Sustainable. As it should serve, it should be built on three standards, on three pillars rather, which is environmental, economic, and social. So it must cover these three standards. It must, whatever decision that must be made must cover these three standards, and there should be no problems. It must balance all the three pillars. So you begin to see how we begin to see the lens through which we must begin to see information systems. So sustainable consumption and production. SCP focuses on producing goods and services in a way that minimizes environmental waste and uses resources efficiently. So what are we talking about in this situation? Yes, you want to create new cheap plastics. Yes, you have used AI to do this. Yes, you have used AI to do that. Are you not going to now just go to a lead factory and just pouring lead into the water? Why would you do that? That's not nice. Why are you destroying the earth? So even though you want to make cheap plastic, does not mean that you should go and take products that will
Sorry,
destroy
sir,
the
to call
earth.
your attention. I think Mr. Stevens' hands is up. Maybe he wants to ask a question.
Okay, Mr. Steven, can you hear me? Mr. Steven,
Hello, Mr.
Mr.
Stevens,
Steven.
you can ask a question.
Yes, yeah, I actually wanted to ask a question under deontology. When we were trying to explain, you made mention, there's a point you made mention of under IS scenario and IS scenario and duty in IS design. You make reference that a national system administrator, once they receive a report from maybe an employee that resigned from his we were told that information system professionals, we have duties to at least give reports truthfully. How do we now reconcile these two instances? So it is expected of IS system professional to give information as it is, truthfully. At the same time, we are asking of somebody that at least resigned from an house, maybe an issue with organization. We are trying to also to avoid damaging his reputation. So how do we reconcile these 2 points, sir?
Hello, can you all hear me? I love that question. This is one of the reasons why I love this kind of class, because we begin to see real life applications of what we are talking about. Yes, you've asked a beautiful question. How do you balance this? As an information system manager, you must give the truthful information. You cannot lie. But at the same time, you must protect the privacy of the person that's been spoken about. So what do you look out for? You answer what was written in the you answered what was written in the information request to the best of your own adherence to your own system request. So let us say, for example, a person most likely was told to resign before he was sacked, and he went somewhere else, and then they're asking for his review. It depends on what they ask. It's what they ask. It is what they ask in the mail that will depend what you tell them. If they ask to say, we confirm to you, we write to you to confirm that, how did this person leave your place? If the person resigned first, all you say is the person resigned. That is all. It's as simple as that. It is what they ask that will determine what you give to them back, in line with your own company's policy. And I know not everybody's policy, except the person was caught in fraud and the company issues a public statement disturbing the person. Most companies does always confirm that the person worked with them from so to time, and that's all. Because most companies right now have built their information systems to realize that they can always have random checks done on background checks done on their staff, so they don't need to look for other means of getting them to affirm them themselves. So does that answer your question?
It answered my question. Though I'm pro further. Am I correct?
I didn't get. Please come again. I didn't hear you. Oh.
What was requested for? I now add to it that that find out what led to the resignation, where what at least expected at least divulge it, right?
Well, now here's the thing. Most companies would not decide to open up their own internal issues to another person. Because why are you asking me in what capacity a former staff of mine left my office? You're asking them to give you personal company issues. Do you understand?
The employee rights and the company.
Do you understand? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you. I'm clear. I'm clear.
Okay. So right now, as you were saying, does any other person have any other question? Hello, can you hear me?
No, no other question. We can hear you.
Okay. So coming back, let's continue the class. So coming back, it's not enough to say you want to build devices that work, but are you just building devices that after 6 months they'll get bad because we want to keep selling something? Are you going to make devices from plastics that would destroy the planet? Is that what you want to be to do to any other person? So because you want to create cheap shoes now, you should create shoes that are made of non-degradable material. Is that what you want? We cannot do that. We can't allow that to work because it's not sustainable. If everybody does that, the planet will go to shambles. So that's how we begin to see things. Sustainable what? Manufacturing. It's not enough to just say you want to make cheap things. Is it sustainable? So our corporate social responsibility is an ethical relationship between the corporation and the larger society. You see, a good example of CSR relating to society in this aspect is going to be in 2008 or so, no, in 2011 or so, when Sanusi Lamido was still CBN governor. He made it a policy of the CBN that Nigerian banks need to find a way of implementing renewable energy into their into their power generation, because he said that we can't just have branches pumping fumes into the society because they are powering their branches that are going to pollute everywhere. That by virtue of that, all branches must include renewable power sources in their branch locations across the country. So that is what reduced the amount of fumes that banks emit to damage everybody. Because why? You are not making money from the sky. A UBA or a Zenith Bank or a GTB makes money from Nigerians. So if you put generator everywhere and everybody is covered with suits, is it not the same Nigerians that are making money from they are trying to kill? So it's important that we begin to say things with a viewpoint of how do companies relate with the larger society in which they operate. Which is why to come to this, to make these decisions, we look at it through three prisms. We must satisfy the people. Who are the people that are going to be involved, that are going to be affected by these systems? It must satisfy them. Then the planet itself, where all of us stay, it must satisfy the planet too. That's the environment. And last but not the least, profits. Nothing is done for free. But at the same time, as we are doing it, we're not just doing it because we are communists, we are doing it for profits. In 2015, the UN established 7 SDGs, which are interconnected to address global challenges. Information system accelerates their achievements. Goal 3 is good health. AI and information systems can work there. Goal 4, quality education. AI is going to be perfect in places like this. Goal 9, innovation. AI makes brainstorming super efficient. And goal 13, climate action. AI sees pattern faster than human beings. We're already seeing it already. Some scientists in NASA built an AI and they fed it all of the old NASA data that human beings have gone through. And the information system detected 100 new exoplanets in the ones that human beings had checked before, and 31 new worlds that the AI discovered on its own after going through what human beings have gone through. Human beings did not see, but AI saw 100 new planets and 31 new worlds. So if you can have that kind of information, if you can have that kind of AI that can do that, it means that if you feed that same AI all the climate data of the Earth, it will tell us the patterns quickly on what to do to prevent climate change. So these are the kind of things we're talking about, how AI can accelerate these SDG goals. So we're talking about societal impacts. Now, as much as we want to create information systems that work, we must also create information systems that are fair. We must also talk about and bear in mind the impacts of these tools on traditional roles. Because we understand that for every action, there's a reaction. And for every tool that speeds up innovation, always bear in mind that there might be somebody whose duty was to do that before, and that person's interest needs to be taken into consideration. We must also build tools that do not reinforce the existing device we have today. You cannot build up tools and say that it's only for a particular set of people, that some set of people cannot come there. No, it should be open to everybody. Cybercrime, internet hacking, ransomware are things that AI is currently building up and making happen. Just yesterday, two guys who worked in Google used an AI to find a vulnerability in Mac OS. He did it in 5 days. That is how internet hacking and ransomware can be fast-tracked using AI. So we must bear this in mind as we are building systems. Technology addiction, most people are getting addicted to their phones. We can see that happen every time. What are we going to do about that? Social media. Social media, as beautiful as it is also a place that is also dangerous. Fake news, propaganda, us versus them, polarity is what social media also causes, apart from uniting people. Then privacy and data protection. Breaches and surveillance usually erodes trust, because imagine a situation where every 6 months Facebook is getting hacked, people's email addresses are leaking. Everybody's seeing people's email address online. People are seeing people's picture, people's account profile is flooding the internet because Facebook gets hacked every six months. Do you realize the impact that will be on society? Let's move on to ethics and sustainability, the 5 principles. First of all is ownership, transparency, privacy, intention, outcomes. These are the prisms through which we make decisions for ethical data management. Yes, we've gotten the data. Remember that we said under the DIKW pyramid that we get wisdom from data. So if you get wisdom from data, the wisdom we get needs to be seen through 5 different lenses to justify, to influence the outcomes. And I just listed them: ownership, transparency, privacy, intention, outcomes. Ownership. My data is my data. I own my data. Whatever data any platform has of me, the platform cannot use the data without my consent. That is what is the first prism. So what does this mean? Even though I'm on TikTok, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, all the data they have of me, of my habits, my likes, all my metadata that they have of me, that is with them, is my own. It's not their own. It is me that owns it. It does not belong to them. And any day I ask for it, they should make it available to me. Transparency. You must let me know where you're going to store my data. You cannot store my data in a place where I don't know about, that I do not feel safe with. Imagine you can store my data on North Korean servers. Do you want them to hack me? Do you want them to hack me? So when you collect my data, what do you do with it? I would like to know. What do you do with my data? Privacy. Yes, I've given you my consent. But at the same time, I don't want everybody to know that I gave my consent. My consent was given between me and you. So another person should not come and know what me and you have to talk about. Intention. Why do we need this data? What do you want to use this data for? What product are we trying to sell that we need this data for? What need are we trying to serve that we are asking people to give us their data? Are we just requesting this data because we can get it? Or we have a credible need, a credible product that when we build it, the user will be better off than it was before when they have the app. Outcome. Even though we not build this app, the app now comes out. This AI-powered app, people not can cause harm. Imagine you can build a chatbot AI assistant as a friend of a lonely or a depressed child, or an autistic child, and the AI system hallucinates, and the autistic child says he wants to kill himself, and instead of the AI chatbot to recalibrate itself and say, no, do not kill yourself, go and call 911 now. The AI system too validates his thought process and says, yes, here are 5 ways for you to kill yourself. You realize that that is very dangerous. Because we cannot allow a system like that out among people. So even though the intention was right to say that we want to create chatbots that would be engaging with the lonely and depressed, we have to understand the fact that there are some people that might not have the prerequisite mental bandwidth to deal with these systems, and they can use them for adverse outcomes. And those outcomes were not even what you had in mind when you wanted to create the AI systems. So you must also have that in mind. So what are ethics in human-computer interactions? We talk about transparencies. Systems, in this case, let's just make it, let's say AI systems must disclose their capabilities and limitations. People must know when they're talking with an AI, not a human. People need to know. Privacy. User data must be collected with consent and used ethically. Engineers are now accountable for what? Data protection. System designer bears responsibility for harm resulting from flawed or what? Exploitative system design. That's accountability. This is why we held Facebook responsible during the Cambridge Analytica scandal. Because even though Mark Zuckerberg knew that the Russians were harvesting the data of Americans to manipulate them to voting for Trump, they did nothing to stop it because it drove their own sales. Because under the MAGA time, they got so much engagement where they sold adverts and made more money. That's why we were able to hold them accountable through this, because we told them that system designers are responsible for whatever outcome of the system they built. And the system they built was Facebook, and it was the algorithm at the time that was on this. Now, let us go back again to what we were talking about the value-based ethics. Now, at that point in time, the algorithm that Facebook had was running on only one ethical view, which is consequences. For every action, there must be a reaction. So all the algorithm was focused on was maximum exposure and maximum engagement. So because of that, the AI was just amplifying dangerous statements and outrageous claims. It was just amplifying it because it discovered that the more outrageous the statements, the more people wanted more of it. And the more people wanted more of it, the more people made outrageous statements. So it just kept amplifying those kind of statements. Inclusive design. We must design for all abilities, video captioning, screen readers, and multilingual interfaces so that no one is left behind. So that's why we see that you begin to realize that you must design for everybody, everybody. You're not just designing for a certain geography anymore or a certain demography. You must design for the whole humanity. Then avoid dark patterns, deceptive interfaces that all those there's some website that if you go to, if you don't do this, they'll not give you this. If you now say I'm not doing it again, they'll say no, they'll collect your money. That is wrong. Overpriced subscription. Stop charging people such high amount just because you can. So in summary, ethics is guided by three nominative theories: initialism, deontology, and virtue ethics, each offering a unique lens on responsible decision making. System thinking reminds information system professionals that their work impacts communities, societies, and the planet, not just the organization. The Think pyramid links data management to ethics. As information becomes wisdom, ethical risk and responsibilities increase. Last but not the least, we must ensure that our frameworks must minimize ecological harm while maximizing organizational efficiency. These systems must solve real problems, not just add to the problems of the earth. And then CSR and SDGs provide global framework to align AI systems with human welfare. So we don't just want to create systems that, oh yes, it's fast, oh yes, it can do this, oh yes, it can do that. But does it use them to solve crucial human problems? That's the most important thing. Is it solving crucial human problems or just solving the needs of a few who can afford it? Then societal implications. We must always remember that whatever information systems, whatever AI systems we build, they are going to have societal implications with digital divide, job displacements, and cybercrime must be managed proactively. I'm not saying because you use an AI system now. Imagine if every 3 days, ChatGPT, all your ChatGPT chat history is leaking all over the internet, and everybody can see what you told ChatGPT. Do you know how embarrassing that will feel? So this must not happen. Okay. Before we move on, um, can we take a break? Hello, hello.
Hi. A break of how many minutes, sir?
Oh, well, with you, well, with you.
Okay, so so now that
Can you hear me?
we are done with, yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I think we should take a break. If you want us to take a break now, we can take a break 11:30 and come back 12 o'clock to round up. That's fine by you. Or we can take a break 12 o'clock and round up 12:30,
Okay,
depending on which one
and
you choose.
let's take a break 12 o'clock, and let's take a break and come and finish by 12 o'clock, by 11:30 to 12.
All right, all right, all right. That makes a good sense. All right.
Yeah.
So basically, we'll be taking a break now and we'll be resuming exactly 12 o'clock. So please stretch your legs and try to make sure that you have some few things. If you want to make coffee or tea or just get some small chow to eat, and we'll be back 12 o'clock to continue the class. And please stay on the call. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back shortly.
Hello. Hello, can you hear me? Can we continue?
Hello, I can hear you. Who's
Can we
online?
continue?
We can hear you.
Yeah, we're on a break right now till 12 o'clock.
Okay.
So once it's 12 o'clock, we'll resume back the class and we'll wrap up, okay?
Okay.
All right, thank you. Just stay on the line. Hello, can anybody hear me? Am I audible? Hello. All right. All right. I would like to call on Mr. Toye. Are you still here on the call? Okay, I can see you here. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Mr. Toye? Hello. All right. I think our trainer will be moving forward with the class pretty shortly. All right. So I'll be resharing the attendance link. For those who have not filled the attendance form, please kindly fill the attendance form. It has been sent to the chat box while we wait for our trainer to proceed with the class. Hello, Mr. Tony, are you still with us?
Yes, I am. Loud and clear.
All right. All right. You can proceed from here so we can wrap up the class. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go down to intellectual property. We are going to talk about patents, copyright, trade secrets, trademarks, ethical issues in IP, global IP initiatives. Intellectual property, what exactly is that? What do you mean by that statement, intellectual property? Intellectual property consists of creations of the mind, inventions, literary work, designs, images, and it protects them by law and all of the rights. The economic value of IP intensive industry in the US alone is $7.8 trillion. What exactly do these IPs do? The IP protection gives inventors and creators time to recoup investment and profit on their work. It also drives economic growth and it gives legal framework for protection of capital. I think that in this life, since some people are innovators and creators, so intellectual property rights is what protects people like that and gives them enough provision under the law to recoup their investment. What are the four forms of intellectual property? You have copyright, you have trade secrets, you have patents, and you have trademarks. What is copyright? An author that writes a book, an actor that acts in a movie, a software created by an engineer, and a song written, performed, instrumentals. So with that, the intellectual property belongs to the person that created it plus another 70 years. So roughly, we are talking on an average like 150 years. Because if let's say the person dies at 80 within his lifetime, another 70 years again after that, he still his own intellectual property. They will go into what? Patent. Patent are what? Inventions, machines, processes. Let's say a person creates a new kind of solar panel that instead of waiting for sunlight to come out, if it as much as sees 6 6 a.m. sun, or even this littlest crack of light, it start charging fast. For that person that created that, he'll get a patent that will protect you for 20 years and nobody can copy what he's doing. If not, you will sue the person. So within that 20 years, he's expected to have made enough sales to have made back the money he used to invent that new solar panel. Trade secret has to do with formulas, source code, and algorithms. This is potentially indefinite because it's ongoing. For example, now a good example would be the trade secret would be the secret recipe of Coca-Cola. We hear that it's locked in a box and it's kept away. Nobody can steal it. So we have legends like that. So basically, secrets that companies don't want anybody to know. That's their secret sauce. For example, Apple does not want anybody to know the secret behind iOS because they don't want it for themselves. Then trademarks. We're talking about brand names, logos, designs, and things like that. For example, no other person can speak a company called Coca-Cola because Coca-Cola has trademarked name Coca-Cola for them only. So, what are now copyright laws in information systems? What are the requirements, rights given, and fair use factors? What are the requirements? It must be original. You must make it yourself. How do we know you're the one that did it? It must be original. You must make it yourself. It must be in it. How can we access this thing that you created? Is it software? Is it a book? Is it a song? Is it a software? Is it a process that you made? Is it a trademark? So it cannot be vague. It must be fixed to a medium. Then you don't have to register, but it's recommended because whoever comes first, the market always recognizes who came first because they're always linked. Everybody knows the day, even though we cannot know the date, what the exact date, but there's a day that so and so was released. That day is recorded in the in history. So you can always go back to it and what you can have is recommended that you register your work. So what's right do we grant? You grant the right to produce the work, another person can make it. You grant the right to distribute it, you can share it to people. Somebody can say, oh, we like your work, let us distribute it for you. Let us publish it for you. Let us help you share it across the world. You can say, from your own work, you now make a remix, make an upgrade, you make a new version. Or we can publicly perform it or display it, or we can turn it into our own short movie or short trailer or short something and perform it ourselves off your idea. Then now we talk about something called fair use factor. You don't just say everything is for money. What if it's for educational purposes? What if it's to train children? Are you going to say that children will pay? Are you going to say that students will pay? So what is the purpose? The nature of the copyrighted work and how much was used. What's the nature of the work? How much was used? And what is the effect that this work has in the market? What's the market value of this work? That determines a whole lot of things. What's the market? What is the market willing to pay for this product, this design, this book? So in the patent law, let's give an example. An example of patent law is Amazon's one click. that streamlined online purchasing. That once you just click, like at that time, what Amazon used to take over the market was a simple one-click policy on Amazon. So before you buy, when you're buying things online, after you buy, you go to your cart. After you go to your cart, you make payment. After you make payment, you now go to put in your residential information where they will send the shipment to. But with the one click, once they've gotten all those data already from you, once you click on ship, it just went straight. All you just got was an email saying you are paid, you get a package in 2 days' time. So that gave Amazon a great advantage, and Amazon patented that software. Another person used it. So Amazon used it for 20 years. So you begin to see the advantage Amazon has. IBM too also patented their blockchain technology. So nobody can use it for under 20 years. Only they can use it. Qualcomm also has something like that for 5G. Once they get a new technology, you patent it, nobody can use it for the next 20 years. It belongs to you. So within that period, you can design how you make money, how you put your investments. Because after 20 years, it will become open to everybody else. What's the trade secret? The trade, as you said earlier, information that derives economic value from not being well known. A good example is Google page rank. Google does not tell you how they rank their pages because they don't want anybody else to do it. And that is what makes Google unique. Because you don't know how pages are ranked on Google. You do the things that Google tells you to do. And they give Google a leverage over you. Oracle source node. Oracle is what runs major infrastructure across the world. But nobody knows the source node. They kept secrets. And anybody, their staff that have access to it, once they have access to it, even their staff, their vendors, sign very tight NDAs so they cannot go and copy it and not print it outside. Preventive measures. They also use things like NDAs to prevent people. These are the preventive measures to protect people from stealing trade secrets. That's why you see that you work for a tech giant, you sign lots of NDAs. NDAs means non-disclosure agreement. You cannot tell any other person what you've seen in the office. If you tell another person what to see in the office, you'll be taken to court and you can go to jail. So intellectual property, what are these trademarks, symbols that distinguish a company's goods and services from others? You know, right now, I don't need to talk too much. Once I see the Pepsi logo, I know Pepsi is here. Now, does it mean that tomorrow another person can go open Pepsi, open his own company and call it Pepsi, and try to ride up the wave of Pepsi? No. Once Pepsi has trademarked that name Pepsi, it is not protected by law. Any person that uses that name will be dealt with in line with the law. So, what are the ethical issues? Now that we've understood what intellectual property law is, now that we've understood what it means, how it provides value across the value chain, how everybody gets their value, how values are created, what are we now going to talk about? The next question is, how does this now go back to what? Society. What is society's impact here? How is society impacted? Yes, you have created a tool, you have a book, you have a software, you have a source code that only you has. But the question to ask now is this: how does this affect society? So that's what we're talking about, that tension between creators' rights, financial rewards for innovation. I was one that devoted my whole life to doing this. Am I not going to get paid? Am I not going to get paid? Protection from copying and piracy. This thing took me a whole lot of time to create. It cost me time, it cost me energy, it cost me mental well-being. Why should anybody just come and copy what I just made? What took me 20 years to create? One person just come to create it by copying my work and thereby reducing the value of my work. By giving me a 20-year patent monopoly, it gives me enough time to do what to recoup my investments. And then you have to give me indefinite trade secret protection because I don't want any other person to know what I know, because that's what makes me different. But on the other hand, what about society? Society needs access to affordable medicines. A 20-year patent on cancer drugs means that for 20 years, poor people will die because they don't have access to expensive drugs. Open source means that all of us can share information regardless of wherever we are, and we can learn and we can adapt information to our particular locales, because the same information that um, West Africa needs is not what East Africa needs. But we can use those tools to work with our own data, reduce the data divide. What are we talking about? We are saying that at this point in time, there shouldn't be a divide between the have and have-nots. The internet should be egalitarian, should be open to all. There should be nothing like, oh, these people don't have. We should make internet access open to everybody. It should not be a world where, oh, we have 200 million Nigerians, but only 100 million are online. The main 100 million are not online. What are we doing to bridge the digital divide to make sure that the many 100 million people that are not online also have access to the internet? So they have access to the things that people with the internet have. Then education and public domains. How are we going to teach the people? You cannot just say, oh, this information is just there. It's just only for you. No, you must make it open to everybody. It's not only for the rich. So this is where we talk about how do you find ethics in intellectual law? How do you ensure that the rights of creators are protected, but at the same time the needs of society is taken into account? So government must create incentivizing structures that make this complex balance possible. Because you see now that the only person that can make this balance possible is the government. So now talking about AI and copyright laws. Emerging technology like AI they challenge intellectual frameworks while international bodies are working with IP distribution worldwide. There are very important questions that have been asked right now, especially when it comes to image generation, text generation, video generation. Some items, some works of art or some items are currently copyrighted, and regardless of the copyrighted status of those items, why the AI systems were trained, the AI systems were trained on these copyrighted items. So the question now asks, if AI is trained on copyrighted items, does it mean that the owners of the copyrighted items that AI was trained upon are entitled to a share of the profit that the AI makes, or that the AI company makes? Who owns an AI created work? Is it the platform or the user? If I go to Meta today and I create an image there, who owns the image? Is the image for me or the image for Meta? These are the kind of questions we're going to ask ourselves. Now, do AI generated output themselves, do they meet copyrighted standards? If I use AI to write a book, is that book copyrighted? Is it protected for me? Can I file copyright with it? These are very important questions that we must begin to ask ourselves as people. And what are we going to do about them? And then who are the global IP bodies? We have the WIPO, is the United Nations agency promoting global IP cooperation. We have the TRIPS agreement, which is the standard for 164 countries. We have the CTTP, IP standard for Trans-Pacific nations, and which harmonizes law for global technology movement. So, in summary, we have 5 forms of US IP law: copyright, patent, trade secrets, and trade information, which incentivizes different types of innovation. This protects software databases and web content automatically. Fair use also allows limited educational use. We have patents for 20 years that reward new inventions. And we have trade secrets that protect algorithms. And we have trademarks that protect brand identity. And we have bodies that do what? That are in charge of enforcing all of these standards. And AI is now causing new questions in the field. So let's talk about ethics and machine learning. So under this thing, talking about governance framework, privacy and security, fairness and bias, explainability, human oversight, and sustainability. So what is artificial intelligence and machine learning? So let's quickly dive into this. This is very, very exciting. What's AI? It's a bad field, it's just a new field of computing that replicates human cognitive understanding. Basically, machines learning to think. And how they think is they're thinking through pattern recognition. And why is that so? Because the human brain itself is a pattern seeking and pattern recognition organ. You you learn by noticing patterns, and you also learn by inferring from the patterns you noticed. So machine learning is a subset of AI where computers learn from data patterns. So that's what we talk about machine learning. So basically, machine learning is what builds AI, because when the AI now derives the insight from what the machine has learned, that's when we know that the AI is now effective. Why is ethics important in AI? Because we are asking important questions that are dealing at scale. We need to know what we are doing. We need to know what is going to be the end result of these questions that we get, the question of these answers to the questions that we get. And because it's a broad-based system, we need more stakeholders involvement. Government, organizations, and civil society need to come together to create outcomes that benefit everybody. So, responsible AI development for AI systems require clear accountability, transparent operations, and meaningful human oversight, not just performance. Yes, you don't want to know that, oh, the new ChatGPT, you can do this, you can do that. If you think about it, if you do it, if you do this, no, 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 no. You know all of that. You know all of that. What you want to know is it accountable? Who are we going to hold accountable if anything happens to this thing? Who are we going to hold accountable that the design of this thing is not flawed? That the information that the users give to you cannot be stolen by another person? Who are we holding responsible for that? Privacy and security. Are the data of the users that they give to you, is it secure? You keep them in secure locations. Is it that the situation whereby tomorrow, right now, what you see is you wake up and then we'll see the information of all the users on the internet, because you use outdated encryption, and because of that, hackers hacked your database and stole all the information of your customers. Human control. Yes, AI is beautiful. Project Maven in the US was what was used in the first day of the Iranian war. In one day, it coordinated 2,000 strikes. What would have taken 600 US soldiers to do? He did it in one day, and he coordinated all the strikes. That is why at the beginning of the Iranian war, the US was attacking wave after wave after wave. It was AI that did all of that. But at the same time, there was what human control. It's AI that would decide, that it was AI that made up the launch site to attack. After they gave the AI all the access to all the satellite, gave it access to satellite information, they give it access to human intelligence, they give it access to signal intelligence, they give it access to what they call this thing, news about Iran, and based on that, it came up with the locations that the US should hit. After it came up with locations, but it was the human beings that decided that fire, fire, fire. It was not the AI that woke up on its own, decided. It was not the AI that woke up on its own. decide the location to fire and those fired. No, there must be human controls. Transparency. Everybody must know what we are doing. Whatever update you make to the app must be made known to everybody. I must state what the update is. It's not just that you just make an update and we don't know what the update is all about. You must tell us whatever update you are doing, you must let us know. There must be logs, there must be documentation, you must be able to carry out audits of your system. And then bias prevention. It is very, very easy for AI systems to become biased because their output is judged based on the information they were given. If you give an AI system data that is skewed towards one point of view, in its response, it will be skewed to a point of view. That is why it's important to ensure that bias is reduced in AI systems. You must reduce bias by doing what? By giving it pure, unbiased data. You must give it information that shows what reality is, not what we want it to be. So that when it's making decisions in line with reality and it's not just reinforcing societal biases. And then industry standard. What are the standards for AI? Are you maintaining those standards? There are standards that are created all across the world. Are you maintaining those standards? So let's talk about AI, what? Ethics as regards fairness and algorithm bias. You see, you remember that we said earlier that AI systems are basically machine learning tools that learn a pattern. Now, if you do not take note of the data you're feeding an AI system, because it's learning on patterns, it will begin to perpetuate the patterns that they have learned from. So this AI system in the US was used by LAPD, that's the Los Angeles Police Department, to predict policing. So they gave it all their data and told it to begin to predict where issues can occur in Los Angeles. But the problem is that as they started using the tool, they started discovering that the AI tool kept suggesting to them that they should go to predominantly poor areas, poor black places, to go and carry out patrols. So what it meant was there were more police in the impoverished black or Mexican communities than in the white areas. And why is that so? Because Los Angeles is a historically multicultural setting. There've always have been clashes between the blacks and the browns against the whites. So by virtue of that, it means there are going to be more, and the police people are owned by the whites. Not necessarily owned. It is the whites that are in charge of the police and the government. So there's going to be much more arrest data of black and brown people than of white people. So when you now take that kind of information, which while it is reality, it is not an objective reality. It's a reality that is enforced with, let's just say, the political power of the white people. So when you take those kind of information and put it into a police predicting tool, the tool will just keep reinforcing what it has been trained on, that try to arrest more black people, because from the information it has, black people are the bigger are more exposed to crime. Now, what that means is you're already predisposing, you're already assuming that black people are guilty even before they committed any crime, just because the data shows that more black people are prone to crime. So once any black person you see him as a suspect, that's wrong. So that's where we're talking about algorithm bias. Now, because the algorithm was trained on information that was biased towards a certain demography, it now begins to make suggestions and outcomes that supported those biased demography, which if you keep on using that in the real world, would mean that it just keep arresting people for nothing. all because the algorithm says so and so people are predisposed to commit this, arrest them. So to avoid that, we are going to do the following things. Diverse data training. We must give it balance and representative data set that reflect diversity of the real population, not just only Black people. Feed it all the information possible. Data must become anonymous. Data must not be seen as, once you get the information, we don't see it as if this belongs to a white man or black man, it must be treated as anonymous. What is given is what is given, not who is the person. We must also have minority groups sampled, not just as say we out of 10 people when you talk to the minority. No, we must increase minority because the voice of the minority must also be heard. The team who is working on these tools must be diversified. They must come from different backgrounds. And then they must train AI to resist bias example from the data set through specialized techniques. You must train your AI not to be used to reinforce biases. And then a human being must step in the loop to ensure that there's no unfair practices carried out. So, and what of that? Want to talk about transparency? There are some AIs that we call them black box AI. We don't know how the AI makes decisions. We just give it data and make it, and we tell it what to expect of it. We don't know how it does the ranking. We don't know how it makes decisions. We just know that we give it to and it brings it out. It brings out outcomes. So right now we are moving towards XAI, AI that can explain itself. And that is what's making us understand how these AI tools are evolving. Because before now, we didn't know how these AI tools thought. But now, researchers have found a way to carry out, to build something they call explainers. These are tools that show us the rationale behind the AI's decision. So we know what AI is thinking. So what are the careers you can, if you are looking at working in AI sustainability? You can be a career AI ethicist. You can be one that advises companies that are about to utilize AI systems on how to utilize them proactively to ensure that there are no issues. And AI and sustainability, it is not enough to build a new AI tool. How does it consume energy? What is water consumption? What are the data centers where they are running? Are they sustainable? Are they just belching into the atmosphere emissions, or because you want to use the latest AI models? So in summary, we have learned now that AI and machine learning tools require ethical governance frameworks. Government must create laws tailored to AI risk. Black boxes must be discouraged, and AI must be made transparent and explainable. Algorithm bias is very, very dangerous and must be combated seriously. And AI environmental footprint is significant. We cannot say because of the latest AI tools, we kill us with carbon emissions. And ethicists are the new career frontier in the AI job market. So let's talk about ethics and in informatics, in health informatics. Okay, now this is one of the most insightful and engaging way in which AI can benefit human beings. You see, health is wealth, and if you have AI given access to health data, it can give beautiful insights. Do you know that, okay, even me as a person, let me tell you people a secret of what I do as a person. So I go to ChatGPT and I have a project that I created on ChatGPT that is like my personal health instructor. So all I do a wellness test every year. So I take the result of my wellness test and I give it to ChatGPT that this is the result of my test. And it goes through all the test results and gives me recommendation based on all of this. So this is just one aspect of AI use in healthcare. You can also use AI for early disease diagnosis. If you give an AI a sample of a bad tumor in the body and you train it on thousands of images of bad tumors or how tumors look like before they start to grow in the body, once anybody comes for tests like this, it is easier for AI to see from the beginning that, oh, this person will have this disease in the next 10 years. So begin to do this now. Inventory management, you can also use AI for the management of drugs and medications, and also even the hospital itself, how to manage it. You can use AI to manage it faster. Drug research, this is one of the most important places where AI is used right now. We have several hospitals across the world that have gotten two things, but rather three things. They built an automated lab where there's a robot that has a hand that can use to go and pick chemicals. Now they now have an AI that the beauty of the AI is they give the AI all of the chemicals that it can be gotten, all chemical components, and they tell it that your duty is to create drugs that will heal social diseases. And we are seeing breakthroughs every day. For example, with Google DeepMind, Google DeepMind was able to map the human genome. It mapped it to the last element. So right now we have a digital representation of the human genome. And because we have a digital representation of the human genome, we can edit the human genome. And once you can edit something at the molecular level, it means you can eradicate diseases, you can eradicate sicknesses, disabilities right from the source. That's one of the powers of AI. I will use AI for research and development. That is just for the genome. You can do the same thing for cancer. You can do the same thing for every sickness, every disability. You can use AI to carry out research and development to lead to the cure of those diseases. Then telemedicine, what you spoke about right now, that you can use AI as teledoctors. Let AI answer the first question before you start taking it to human beings. So what are the governance there? It's not enough to say you're giving us a tool that can do the work of the doctor. Who is liable if my account, if my information leaks? What is your AI telling me? Is your AI saying the truth, or your AI is trying to maximize my attention on your chatbot so you can sell it, so you can sell adverts to me? So these are questions we need to ask ourselves. Who is liable? Who's creating these frameworks? Who do I hold liable if the AI makes a wrong suggestion to me and it causes me harm? Who do I hold liable? Privacy protection. Are my chats private? Are the things I tell the AI chatbot, are they private? Bias. I hope it's not one that is built solely for Americans or one that is built solely for Scandinavians and is giving me information that is against my own pheromones and my own anthropomorphical shape. Then balance policy making. The rules that are guiding this, was it made in consideration with the government, with relevant stakeholders and AI companies? So privacy controls. How we protecting the privacy of patients in AI systems? If you use AI to do lots of things, AI just builds on data. But at the same time, that data is people's information. Let's say, for example, you're using AI in an hospital to move client information, to move patient information from place to place. You can't just say because you're using it, you now use um poor encryption. Anybody cannot hack your website, and then the whole world has the information of your client. I don't want there's some things that a person is doing that doesn't want the world to know. So why do you not say because you have a system that uses AI, you don't make it strong enough that nobody can just hack in and take information? So there must be access controls, role-based policies. Who goes through? Not everybody must have information. Not everybody must have access to every information. So people's information must be based on what they do encrypted. Data must be encrypted. It cannot just be opened down for anybody to see it and read it. Minimization, you must minimize it, not just, you must compress it. Don't make it too much. You collect only what you need. You don't collect too much data. What are you collecting from information for if you don't need it? Verification, you must make the data what anonymous. Nobody must know who is who. Yours is to make decisions from the data, not know who owns the data. Then at the same time, patients must understand that they must give their consent for all their data to be used. And then you must be in line with what we standards. In Nigeria, our standards are the NDPR, Nigerian Data Protection Agency, and in the US is the IAPA. So once again, we are going to talk about what's that again? The balance. How do we find that balance? What's the balance? Who owns the data? So a patient comes to the hospital to take blood test, they take his data, they run to the AI system, AI makes recommendation for him. The data of the patient, who owns it? Belongs to who? The patient. Even though it's used on a platform, that's why you can do what? As a patient, you can access your complete medical records. You can get copies and move them between your providers. You can permit or deny access and be informed of all data sharing processes. And then if you want, if you wear iWatch or all those wearable devices, if you want, you can share your data. It is up to you. It is up to what? It is you. But at the same time, companies are trying to put in some very funny things so that you get your data without your consent. So they make your lengthy the disclosure form very long. You see the terms and conditions very, very long. You cannot do anything now. You just click on OK. We have to make sure that the terms and conditions are written in ways that people understand clearly. And what's that? So people must also be literate. They must know what their data is being used for. They must know what exactly is being done, which is why you must continue to educate the masses and carry out classes to teach people. And then what do you mean by dynamic permission? This is when the modify patients or data owners can modify access in centralized databases. So there's a balance between what I give to you and what is used for the benefit of the system. So algorithmic bias. Now, because now we're dealing with health, algorithmic bias is a very big challenge in healthcare. You understand that? Why is this so? You must understand that human beings, even though we are the same physically, we are also different individually. So you cannot say you take a data set from people in the US and you want to use that same data set to create drugs for people in Nigeria. We are two different people living two different places, having two different realities, and our bodies are a repository of the realities we are going through. So you cannot use the health data of Americans to make recommendations for Nigerians. It doesn't work that way. And at the same time, as you are getting your data that you're using to work with, you must also ensure that the data is very, very broad. You're not using a narrow base and using it to make selections. And your staff who are working with you on this data, they must also be diverse. They must have unbiased minds. They must not see things from a point of view of their own perspective alone. So what are these things that we're going to now put in place to mitigate against algorithmic bias? It is what to test AI system on diverse patient populations. Don't just test it on, say, people in Spain. Test it across board. Come to Nigeria, test. Go to South Africa, test. Go to Ghana, test. Go to Europe, test. Go to China, test. Test it on a diverse population so you can get adequate information. You must use inclusive training data. Engage with diverse development teams. Don't just let the engineers that are working be from one particular set of the world. There's also continuous bias testing and human oversight of analytics. AI does not assist in the analytics of this information that we get from human beings. And then it was engaged with marginalized stakeholder groups. What are the global networks that we have? We have WHO, the Global Digital Health Partnership, that coordinates across the world. In Nigeria, we have the NDRP, Nigerian Data Protection Regulation. What are these things? We have platforms that have telemedicine, platforms that HMO, like Reliance HMO is already using AI to attend to patients. And then we must have federated learning models. These AI tools must learn from distributed health networks, not just one person. That means we are getting information from federal government hospitals, state government hospitals, and also primary healthcare center. So the information that the AI is getting is robust. It's not just narrow to one area. And then the AIs must be interoperable. They must be able to talk to themselves across different networks. So in summary, healthcare offers revolution in patient care, early diagnosis, drug discovery. Privacy is important. Patient must own their data. Bias must be combated again. And then we must be able to switch off from each platform to another platform. And we have networks who do what? Who harmonize standards and ensure everything is in line. So here are the key terms that we spoke about today. So you can go over them right now while I keep them up and bring yourself up to beats. So here's our summary. I want you just to take this in. We've spoken about everything here. Just take it in. Just a quick recap. Okay, so here's the assignments. I think the admin will send it to every student so you can fill it and send your responses back by email. So thank you very much. Are there any questions? Hello? Hello?
No question.
Hello?
Yeah. Good afternoon, sir. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can hear you. Okay. Yes, sir. Thank you for the class. I thank you for the wonderful delivery. Sir, I just want to ask a question that normally crops into my mind most times whenever I hear about artificial intelligence and the role it is playing in our contemporary world today. So, as it concerns the um, AI replacing people's job, yes. So, To what extent is this really true? Because from what I'm seeing, what I'm seeing playing out is obviously happening. So is AI really replacing people's job? And if it is, which other way can people really get relevance in today's world that AI has really come to stay? So, in what way can we really get relevancy in our work this particular time that AI has come to stay? That's what I want to ask.
Okay. Thank you very much for that question. You see, your question borders on what we call post-labor economics. After today's class, you realize that no matter how much some people want to sugarcoat it, AI is going to replace some people's jobs, and those people are going to become redundant. So the question to ask is, what new systems are we going to build that will take into consideration the people jobs are going to be there place in fashion? So what does it mean? Why I tell people to go and do what I discover, what I call entrepreneurship. Go and find something to do. Go and own something. Go and register it legally, and look at the problems of your fellow citizens and which of them can you solve. You must understand that
So,
as
I, I can't hear you, sir. I hardly hear you, sir. Sorry.
can you hear me now? Hello, can
Please,
you hear me?
your voice is
Yes, I
breaking.
can.
Hardly hear you,
I
but we
can hear
can
you
hear
now.
you.
Is it better now?
Yes, yes.
Okay, what's the last thing you guys heard?
I can't say because it was breaking. It was breaking.
Okay, as I was saying, I said what you're talking about deals with what we call post-labor economics. What happens after the AI comes and jobs disappear? But what I can encourage everybody to do is to do what? Own a business legally, register a business, and use that business to solve a need of your fellow citizens. You must understand the fact that AI is going to compress the queue chain of execution. With AI right now, you can run a business today. If today you decide that I want to set up a business, you can with AI, you can set it up today, open Facebook, open Instagram, open this and begin to push out content for your business using AI. So you need to open businesses that solve people's needs. And to solve people's needs, you need to ask yourself, what skill do I have? What business can I build? What needs of human beings around me can I leverage upon to solve their needs? People need needs. We get to the fact that AI systems are going to make things um, much more productive. People still have needs. People are going to eat. People are going to sleep. People are going to wear clothes. People are going to go out. People are going to need power. People are going to need energy. People are going to need food. We still have needs. We still have needs. We are still human beings that need to exist. Then apart from our physical needs, we still have what we call emotional needs, psychological needs. So which of these needs of human beings can you build a business around solving? Do you understand me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm following you up.
Yes.
So one of the beautiful ways you can
Understood.
do this. Look, can you all hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
I
sir.
can hear you, sir.
So one of the most beautiful ways you can do this is for you to not even use ChatGPT itself. You must understand that these AI systems are pattern-setting organs, are pattern-setting tools. So you must use them to show you the patterns in your own life that you can maximize. Let's say, for example, you take your CV, you take the ChatGPT and say, ChatGPT, here's my CV. I'm thinking of a business to open to maximize my skills in the coming AI world. What business do you think I can do? if it goes to your CV and if you talk, you ask you different questions, it can tell you what business you can own. And you yourself must need to pay attention to your surroundings. Pay attention to the needs of people around you. People have needs. If you can build a business that solves those needs, you will be fine in the wave of automation. If you can build a business that solves those needs, you would be fine in the automation wave. Is that
Yes, okay, sir. Yes, sir.
hello? Does that answer your questions?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Any other question? Is there any other question? Okay. I think I would hand over to Messi or to who now? So Ademola.